The strange part was that suddenly, Lito's now genuinely in love with Kane.
Fuck?
Not only that, but this whole
basis is just him trying to save the child of the person he R-worded, and then like the girl starts liking him. What type of Stockholm syndrome type of bullshit is this?
Oh, what's up? Oh, what's up?
It's Majay back here with another video. Today we're about to be reacting to a video by Tap Out Corner. The video is going to be on top 10 worst WWE face turns. One thing that rings off the ringer for me was back in 2013, Alberto Del Rio's face turn, bro. I feel like that face turn was just kind of like it was just washed after like a few months, and that's when Dolph Ziggler basically as a heel got cheered like probably like bigger than his whole face turn. And it just made it feel so awkward. But before we get into this, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you've been enjoying the wrestling reacting videos. And if you're new here, I'll be reacting to more, and maybe I'll get your subscribe at the end of the video. But let's get into it.
SmackDown, where she would soon earn a shot at the SmackDown Women's Champion, Naomi. During the match, both Charlotte and Naomi would be attacked by the faction known as the Welcoming Committee. This caused Flair to turn face, and she briefly formed an alliance with Naomi as well as Becky Lynch. For a while, Charlotte Flair's face turn wasn't bad, but as time went on, it felt like she was hogging up the main event scene. But it did lead to a phenomenal match at WrestleMania 34, where Charlotte defeated Asuka to end the Empress of Tomorrow's undefeated streak. However, this is when the face turn started to fall apart. Charlotte fell into a common babyface problem. They win all the big matches and get all the title shots, even though it doesn't feel like.
Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. Charlotte just won so many matches. Oh man, I don't know. Through history, if you search my old videos, I think I got like a Charlotte video, bro. I think I let my opinions be like known on that video, and I'm gonna let it be known right now, bro. Like, she just had too many pushes, bro. Too many championships. Like, stop hogging the spotlight. I know. Like, probably like back then. Like a lot of actually a lot of people were stepping up. Vince McMahon just kept taking the safe approach and pushing her. And like there was Sasha Banks, but Sasha Banks was always losing like major titles like to Charlotte or somebody else. But like this whole thing was weird, and it's basically weird seeing her as a babyface. But recently I liked her babyface, her little whole turn.
They've actually earned it. This really came to a head at SummerSlam 2018. Charlotte Flair, Carmella, and Becky Lynch were in a triple threat match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Charlotte won after kind of stealing the win from Becky Lynch and became the new champ. Then this happened.
Oh, Becky!
Yes, Becky Lynch turned heel on Charlotte, and the crowd cheered for it. This continued, and despite WWE's efforts to make Lynch the heel, fans kept supporting her and booing Charlotte. WWE eventually gave in and turned Flair heel again at Survivor Series, but it took longer than it should have. While Charlotte Flair's face turn started off fine, by the end, it had become a train wreck. Number 9, Sheamus. The Celtic Warrior has built a solid foundation for himself in WWE, but back in the early 2010s, that wasn't always the case. Sheamus debuted in June 2009 as a heel, a bad guy, and by the end—
I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed Sheamus's babyface turn. I mean, it went on for like a couple of years. You know, him winning the little championship from like him and Big Show feud was okay. Like I enjoyed his face turn. This was actually like kind of wrong to me, but maybe he could tell why he doesn't enjoy it.
Of the year, he had defeated John Cena to win the WWE Championship. He didn't hold the title for too long, but did win it back again in 2010 and was still presented as a main event star. Then it just sort of collapsed. Sheamus went on to win the 2010 King of the Ring, and this is when Sheamus's career hit a slump. He started losing matches more frequently and became a clear mid-carder. Perhaps that's why, in July 2011, WWE decided to turn Sheamus face. Mark Henry had just begun his Hall of Pain storyline and was running amok on SmackDown. Sheamus confronted Henry and promised to stop Henry's bullish ways. This led to a match where Sheamus fought and lost to Mark Henry via countout. This is a problem with a lot of face turns. When a bad guy becomes a good guy and loses in their first big match, it's difficult to get invested. Now, it was a count-out defeat, so that did protect Sheamus, but it didn't get the Celtic Warrior off to a good start. Now, WWE did eventually push Sheamus by having him win the 2012 Royal Rumble and become World Champion at WrestleMania. However, this infamously came at the expense of Daniel Bryan, who was
Never mind. Now that he bring this up, I was thinking about the other like half of like the feuds that he had, but I don't know how do I forget about this 18-second thing, bro. It was just crazy in that, bro. I feel like a lot of stuff kind of got in the way of like, Daniel Bryan. A lot of people got booed around this time. People were so passionate about Daniel Bryan around this time. A lot of people were gonna get made to get booed. I mean, Rey Mysterio came out like at the at the number I don't know if it was the number 30 spot, but like, bro, he got heavily booed and he just returned. But like, yeah, Sheamus was really actually booed for this. It was a way, well, it was the booking and it was the way they did Daniel Bryan. That was dirty as fuck.
Already building an organic connection with the fans. I don't think Sheamus beating Bryan in 18 seconds at WrestleMania was the reason his face turn was bad, but I think it put a bad taste in a lot of fans' mouths. It felt like WWE was forcing another big, muscly man down fans' throats. Okay, bad choice of words. What I'm trying to say is that because WWE was trying to make fans like Sheamus, it came across as forced. There's a reason fans started calling Sheamus the Irish John Cena at this time. On top of that, I think Sheamus' face turn came at a pretty bad time. In the early 2010s, SmackDown had become a pretty bland show, and there weren't a whole lot of great opponents for Sheamus to feud and have matches with.
That's true.
In the end, Sheamus would stay face until getting injured in 2014. When he returned several months later, the Celtic Warrior returned.
This nigga returned with a whole mohawk, bro. Oh man, I'm glad this nigga returned as a heel though. It makes sense.
To his villainous ways, and that was definitely for the better. Number 8, The Big Show. It's one of the longest running jokes in wrestling. How many times Big Show's turned face and heel? There's a lot to choose from, but I'm going with this one as Big Show's worst face turn. After an over year-long hiatus, The Big Show returned to WWE in 2008, looking much slimmer and in overall better shape. His return started off strong, with Big Show wrestling as a heel and having a marquee match with legendary boxer Floyd Mayweather. The two had a pretty entertaining bout at WrestleMania, and it's gone down as one of the best celebrity matches in WWE history. So, how do they follow that up? Well, you turn Big Show face, of course. Almost immediately after WrestleMania, The Big Show became a good guy. Why did WWE do this? So that he could have a match against the Great Khali. That was pretty much it.
Jesus Christ. I don't know. Big man versus big man will just be quote unquote good on paper, but like when you see this shit, it's just a train wreck. But man, like it's always a running joke because it's true. Like, nigga, like how many times has this nigga turned heel, face, heel? My fucking one that I really despise is when this nigga was like mid-turn with the damn authority, bro. This nigga, they made this nigga essentially cry on fucking live television and he knocked some people out. And then he goes and turns heel in the middle of the fucking match. It knocks out John Cena. So that really didn't make no sense. And that was really one of my most just hated moments for him.
Was finished, Big Show meandered around as a face for a while, nearly took out his own eye at One Night Stand, until finally becoming a heel again and feuding with The Undertaker. Not only was this face turn pointless, but it also derailed the momentum Big Show got from WrestleMania. Number 7, Kevin Owens. Now, Kevin Owens can be a really good babyface, but his first attempt was a big swing and a miss. Let me set the scene for you. In October 2018, Kevin Owens is taken out of action with an injury. Fast forward a few months to February 2019. Daniel Bryan is the heel WWE champion and is defending his title in the Elimination Chamber. Bryan is hanging in there, and it's down to him and Kofi Kingston. Kingston comes close, but ultimately doesn't win the big one. However, Kofi begins to receive a wave of organic support from fans who want to see Kingston get another shot at the title. Kofi gets that opportunity, but right as he and Bryan are signing the contract for their WWE Championship match, Vince McMahon interrupts. He says Kofi is no longer in the match and instead replaces him with a returning Kevin Owens. This is a total heel move, and yet Kevin Owens was supposed to be the good guy. Yeah, WWE's plan was to have Kevin Owens face Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania.
This was a dumb mistake. I don't know what, or if they think the fans are gonna go along with this, but like Vince McMahon was really on one like back in like 2017, because like you really wouldn't think like they were about to take this shit serious
With KO as the hero. Why the heck then would you have him take an opportunity from a beloved babyface like Kofi Kingston? Why even turn him face if this is the first thing you're gonna do with him? It made no sense, and the whole face turn was pretty pointless anyway. WWE course corrected and had Kofi Kingston wrestle and defeat Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. The Kofi and Bryan rivalry was supposed to continue, but Bryan got injured for real, and WWE needed a new heel for Kingston to feud with. So Kevin Owens attacked Kofi and turned heel, only about 2 months after he came back as a face. Now, as I said, Kevin Owens can work as a face, and we actually saw that a few months later when KO had his rivalry with Shane McMahon and Seth Rollins. But this first face turn was poorly timed and poorly executed. Number 6, Roman Reigns. It might be a bit controversial putting Roman Reigns only at number 6.
Oh man, these niggas would not leave up when Roman. I liked Roman, bro, but like they just kept giving this nigga like the most corniest lines to say, blue contacts. Like they will just not leave up on like making this nigga heel, bro. It was just weird.
But I have my reasons. The first one being that Roman Reigns' face turn actually started when he was still part of The Shield. In March 2014, Dean, Seth, and Roman, who had been working for Triple H and The Authority, turned on them and became good guys. Those few months of The Shield as babyfaces were great, and it led to 2 great tag team matches against Evolution. But as we all know, that didn't last. About 3 months after The Shield turned face, Seth Rollins infamously betrayed Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose and aligned himself with The Authority. Up to this point, The Shield, and therefore Roman's face turn, had been good, but now everyone was going solo, and this is where the trouble began. First off, Reigns didn't go after Seth Rollins, despite him almost literally stabbing Roman in the back. Instead, Reigns began pursuing the World Championship. I get WWE's reasoning for doing this, but from a character perspective, it didn't make any sense why Reigns wouldn't.
They rushed it. They rushed him straight into this. You could have had them like go to the United States Championship. Bro never won it, but like I feel like that was kind of like really fucking try to rushing it. Like I'd say this is probably like the start of them shoving Roman down the audience's throat, and people did not like it.
Immediately try to settle things with Seth Rollins. They kind of tried to have Roman and Seth feud a few months later, but it never evolved into a proper rivalry. But that's not what ruined Roman's face turn. What ruined it was all the dumb stuff they made Reigns do, like poisoning Stephanie McMahon and Triple H's coffee. But the worst was the promos they made Roman cut.
You are a sniveling little suck-up sellout full of suffering succotash, son. And Roman Reigns, he had magic beans.
Man, that was bad. And it kind of sums up Roman Reigns' entire face turn. WWE was trying to make Roman...
Fucking infamous wink, bro. You know what's crazy? This nigga just cut like the most hardest goddamn promo literally yet. Like right now, I just saw on Instagram. Like this nigga, they were just hype.
The Miz.
I hated that.
Like I said with Charlotte Flair, some wrestlers are better as heels than baby faces, and The Miz is one of them. From the moment he debuted in 2006, The Miz was always a heel. He was annoying, arrogant, and a loudmouth, and he played it really well. Maybe it was because WWE wanted him to be a spokesperson for the company or something, but in 2012, they decided to make the A-lister a good guy. In the fall of that year, The Miz had become part of CM Punk's Survivor Series team.
Oh, bro, this was like a dark time, bro. Like, I'm still just never used to seeing The Miz as like a good character, bro. I'm just used to seeing this nigga as a scumbag jerk type of character, and like just seeing him as the good guy just doesn't feel right. It feels like the world's like off balance.
After Miz got left to be beaten up, the most must-see WWE superstar quit Punk's team and officially became a babyface. His first major outing was at Survivor Series 2012, where he was one of 4 members on Team Foley. While Miz did make one elimination, his team ultimately lost the match. Things picked back up though in 2013, when The Miz hosted his show, Miz TV, with Ric Flair as his guest. The two were confronted by the United States champion Cesaro, and this is where Flair would become a mentor to Miz and also give Miz the figure 4 leg lock. I always thought the pairing of Ric Flair and The Miz was weird. I guess they both have flamboyant and eccentric personalities, but it never really clicked for me. Anyways, The Miz went on to face Cesaro not once, not twice, but 3 times for the US title and lost each and every time. The Miz then moved on to the next mid-carder title, the Intercontinental Championship. While he did win it during the WrestleMania 29 pre-show, he lost the title just 1 day later on Raw. All these defeats just made Miz
Yeah, this time was just like fucking crazy. I was actually rooting for the Miz to win a lot of these matches, and him ended up losing. Like, didn't create like no type of babyface sympathy or anything. It's just like, why are you having this nigga lose? But like, hey, they should have him win the Intercon championship a little bit more, because like he deserves like a little bit more runs with those. I think he has like a lot of title runs with those already.
Looked like a chump. It was hard for fans to get behind someone who couldn't win when it mattered. The A-lister stumbled around for several more months until finally becoming a heel again about 1 year after his face turn. Why this turn failed has a lot to do with how Miz was and wasn't used, but another factor that didn't help was that WWE had him wrestling on a lot of pay-per-view pre-shows. The pre-show is better than no-show, but it doesn't exactly instill big star energy. The Miz would later turn face again in 2019 and in 2023, and while they weren't perfect, those face turns were much better handled than Miz's first.
Yeah.
Number 4, Batista. This is a good example of wrong place, wrong time, but more so the latter. In 2010, Batista ended a roughly 8-year career with WWE. The animal pursued acting and wouldn't return to wrestling until he made it. Well, after filming Guardians of the Galaxy, the animal was ready to get back into the ring. After weeks of build-up, Batista returned to WWE just 6 days before the 2014 Royal Rumble. Now, this maybe isn't
the infamous tight pants, this nigga tore his pants. Whoa, man, bro. This nigga should not wear tight pants in this whole thing. Like, what was bro thinking?
technically a face turn, but Batista did leave WWE as a heel and came back as a face, so I'm counting it. Anyways, initially the response to having Batista back was positive, but that all changed at the Royal Rumble. Batista won the titular match, and it was instantly met with boos. At the time, Daniel Bryan was the hottest rising star in WWE, and the only thing fans wanted was to see him main event WrestleMania. I don't think it was as much of fans hating Batista as it was fans hating the person WWE was pushing and trying to make them like, which just so happened to be Batista. At first, it was easy to write off the boos as just one crowd, but when Batista kept getting repeated boos despite being the good guy, it was clear WWE had made the wrong decision. 1 month after returning, WWE turned Batista heel, got Daniel Bryan into the main event of WrestleMania, and awarded D. Bryan the World Championship. I do give WWE credit for course correcting on this, but even Batista felt he should have just come back as a heel. Number 3, Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah.
If you know Del Rio, then you know that he's the absolute worst person to try and turn into a good guy. And yet, WWE tried. Alberto debuted in WWE in 2010. His character was a rich Mexican aristocrat who dressed nicely, drove cars into the arena, and had a personal ring announcer. It was a solid heel character, but that all changed about 2 years later. In December 2012, at the TLC pay-per-view, Alberto's ring announcer, Ricardo, was being harassed by the group 3MB. Alberto came to his ring announcer's aid, and thus, Del Rio was now a babyface.
Oh my god. To make this nigga heel like this was just boring, bro. Like, think of another way to make this nigga, I said heel, I mean, to make this nigga face like this was just boring. Like, think of another way to make him face. Like, come on now. And then, like, his whole run was just, like, it didn't feel right.
Alberto Del Rio didn't work as a face was because of his previously mentioned character. I don't think there's been a single wrestler who has a gimmick of being wealthy and is also a good guy. But on top of that, Alberto Del Rio's in-ring style didn't translate well as a babyface. Additionally, Del Rio himself has said he never liked being a babyface. And I mean, if you look at what he does in real life, you can kind of understand. I assumed WWE was trying to create a new superstar to appeal to the Latin American audience, which was the reason for turning Del Rio face. And to be fair, it could have worked. All you have to do is make Del Rio a foot shorter, have him wear long pants, wrestle high-flying, fast-paced style, put a mask on him, and call him Rey Mysterio. If WWE had just done that, I think it would have worked. But they didn't, and after about 6 months as a face, WWE turned Alberto Del Rio heel and never tried to make him a good guy again. Number 2, Randy Orton.
So,
Ironically,
man.
nowadays, WWE can't stop fans from cheering Randy Orton, but back in the 2000s, it was a different story.
The fuck
Randy
is
debuted
that?
in the spring of 2002, his career really took off in early 2003 when he joined Triple H, Batista, and Ric Flair to form Evolution. While Randy was already a heel before joining Evolution, the group accelerated his career and helped his heel work take off. After about a year and a half in the faction, Orton finally got his shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. Randy defeated the one who must not be named at SummerSlam 2004, becoming the youngest WWE World Champion of all time. Then, the night after the victory, Triple H and Evolution would famously attack Orton, and thus, Randy turned face. The biggest problem with this face turn was apparent pretty early, and that's that Randy Orton wasn't comfortable as a face. Maybe it's because he was kind of a heel in real life at the time, or because he was still early.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Literally spit in this nigga's face. What type of baby face spits in like the heel character's face? Like, man, I have not seen that before. Like, that's like, well, in tweener roles, but like this nigga was supposed to be like the glorified baby face because we just seen this nigga get attacked. But like, I know we be wanting these baby faces to go crazy, but like they're not meant to go crazy. They're just meant to just like, you know, stay in a role as a good guy and be the moral light. But nigga, like back then for that Randy Orton to do that, you couldn't really do that with Randy Orton in the early days. He was a real heel.
His career, but either way, Orton as a face did not feel natural at all. So maybe this face turn was doomed from the start, but WWE certainly didn't try to make it work. At the next pay-per-view, Unforgiven, Triple H beat Randy Orton to win the World Heavyweight Championship. Orton held the title for only a month, and this was his first title defense as a good guy. It just made Randy look weak and that he wasn't deserving of the title. That was bad enough, but somehow WWE made it worse. A few months later, at the 2005 Royal Rumble, Orton and Triple H had a rematch for the world title. Triple H once again won, after hitting Orton with a clothesline and taking 30 seconds to hit Randy with a pedigree. Again, this just made Randy look weak.
Bro, yo, if you're gonna have like baby faces like, you know, doing this whole little shtick, like you gotta at least give them a good way to win, or some type of person doing like some heelish ass shit. But like you just having the baby face getting beaten to snap, especially on his first title defense. Like, come on.
And it gave fans no reason to get behind him. Not surprisingly, just a few weeks after the Royal Rumble, Randy Orton would turn heel and have a legendary feud with The Undertaker.
Thank God.
And the number one worst WWE face turn of all time is Kane. In his over 25-year-long career in WWE, he's had many face and heel turns. While they varied in quality and effectiveness, there was one face turn that was nothing but trash. In 2004, Kane began targeting Lita, who was Matt Hardy's real-life and on-screen girlfriend. Kane would not only attack Matt Hardy, but also kidnap Lita. The storyline built to Lita eventually announcing she was pregnant. However, the father was not Matt Hardy, but Kane. Yes, when Kane kidnapped Lita, he impregnated her. There's a word for that.
So basically in the story, he R-worded her, and then, bro, only Vince McMahon can come up with these type of stories.
Yes, I'm pretty sure. The reason Kane did this was because he wanted an offspring to carry on his legacy. I guess that makes sense. Anyways, this led to a till death do us part match at SummerSlam between the Big Red Machine and Matt Hardy. Kane beat Matt, and per the match stipulation, Lita had to marry Kane. By all accounts, everything Kane did made him the most evil wrestler of all time. He forced Lita to marry him, attacked Lita's boyfriend, and impregnated her against her will. But then, something strange would happen. During a match against Gene Snitsky, Kane accidentally fell on top of Lita. This caused Lita to suffer a miscarriage, but that wasn't the strange part. The strange part was that suddenly, Lita was now genuinely in love with Kane. Not only that, but this whole miscarriage thing caused Kane to turn face. He now wanted revenge on Snitsky for killing his unborn child. But it gets even wilder.
Bro, so the whole basis is just him trying to save the child of the person he R-worded, and then like the girl starts liking him. What type of Stockholm syndrome type of bullshit is this?
During a match against Edge, Lita would betray Kane and hook up with the Radar Superstar. And WWE framed this like fans should feel sorry for Kane. Only in WWE can a rapist be presented as a good guy. But what are the top 10 worst heel turns?
Hell nah, bro. Yo, that whole thing deserved to be number one, and this just had Vince McMahon all like, you know, written all over it. Of course, it came to be, we got the classic, you know, Edge and Lita like thing, but nigga, that was fucking crazy. that whole storyline was just ugh. But like, yeah, 2 for sure for me is Alberto Del Rio in, you know, fucking Kane. Well, and the Miz, because like the Miz is, he has to be a heel because he's just naturally hated. Well, in a good way. But if you guys enjoyed the video, go check out Tap Out Corner, and don't forget to drop a like on the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. We're on the road to 550.
He was the best guy around.
What about the people he murdered?
What murder?